understanding the individuals, understanding their style of training, understanding the organization,
Mm.
and how, because you'll be surprised, the way organization is set up also affects change.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Corporate Show with me, Manjit Niji, your host. This week, I have another lady trainer with me, a lovely lady by the name of Jumoke. And Jumoke and I are we're going to talk about change management. Now, change management can impact your organization in lots of different ways, and that's something we're actually going to look at. We're going to look at the course itself, how it can help the individual, how it can help your organization, and so on. And we're also, as usual, as you know what I'm like, we're going to look at the link between change management and service management. So first and foremost, hi Jumoke, how are you?
Hi Manje, nice to see you again.
Yes, and you, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been keeping well.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been good.
how's lockdown been treating you?
It's actually been good. I have been forced to be innovative and looking at the way I do things and what else I can offer. So it's been good from that point of view.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Hence, I've started up my YouTube channel. So,
Yeah, it's great.
everybody's diversifying in different ways, which is
Yeah.
really good. Okay, so let's get back to the matter at hand, which is change management, which I know is one of the subjects that you train. I know you train on a varied amounts, much like myself, but change management is one of your favorites.
Yeah.
So, for anybody who's watching, can you just explain a little about what is change management?
Great. So change management is looking at how individuals adapt to change. Is looking at it from an organization point of view. How does an organization manage change? Because what happens is the project, which is a delivery, you deliver an output, a software, but then the people who are going to use it, they have to actually use the new thing, use the new software, which is a change, because project is bringing about a change. And if you don't prepare the people very well, if the organization doesn't prepare the people, if the people are not ready for the change, yes, the project will be successful, but your desired benefit, you may not achieve that. So you just wasted all that effort in bringing about a product which people are not going to use, or they're not using it as well as you expect them to use it.
So is it just about a project, or is it about day-to-day changes as well?
This is mostly about a project, but it also affects day to day, but it's mostly about a plan change. Yeah.
Okay, so it's quite a broad subject, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so what about the course itself? How long is the actual course?
It's 5 days, like most of the training. You have 3 days of foundation course. This is the MG course, by the way. So you have 3 days, and then you have 2 days for the practitioner. So it's a full 5-day course.
That's a lot of time to take out from an organization. What are the benefits
for
an individual? For me, if I was to come on one of your training courses,
yeah.
Okay, so what would be the benefits of me if I worked for any big organization or even a small organization? What was the benefits for me as an individual?
I think more and more now people are beginning to, like I said, understand the importance of thinking about the people who are going to do the change. So people are beginning to see why their projects are failing. So organizations are asking for the skill to how to deal with the people. Have you addressed have you planned it in? Do you know how to train the people? Do you know how to address if there's resistance to change? Do you know the impact? Do you know how you're going to train them? So more and more organizations are asking. So for individuals, I think if you want to add more to your skill than just a delivery person, but you actually know how to help organizations to manage how to deliver this product, then you're setting yourself apart from other people.
But what about the organization then? So that's the individual.
Yeah.
What does it give to an organization? So if they send their employees or ask you or another trainer to come in to deliver this training in their organization, how does it help them? What value does it give to them and their clients and their customers actually?
Yeah, I mean, again, looking at it from their viewpoint, it's a way of saying, okay, we have this product, we've created a new software, or we've created a new website or something new anyway, but now the benefit we expected is actually being realized because people are actually happy to receive it. We are not getting the resistance we wanted. So it's bringing the success that I expected to be more realistic, because organizations, like I said, they've input change, and you just find that people are resistant sometimes to the extent they go on strike, for example. I mean, little things, even now, the other day I was saying, they don't want to use the mask So yeah, so that's those sort of things didn't you anticipate it, and you're that dealing with those resistance can cost the organization a lot of money.
So what would happen then if we didn't take care of change, if we had no change management?
The number one, you may spend effort and time to deliver a product which is not well received by the organization, and if it is, it's going to take longer for the organization to actually adopt that change and embed that change within the like you expected. So the benefit that you anticipated that made you want to do this change in the first place is not being realized as soon as you expect it to be realized, and B, I've known worst case scenario when they've actually gone back to their old way of working because they didn't adopt the new way of working. So it's just ended up all this effort was just nothing.
Yeah, I'm smiling there because in the past, when I used to work, for organizations as a service manager, one of the biggest things was we'd put in some project and the change that was there.
Yeah.
It could be that we've enhanced a process or whatever that might have been. And then for the first couple of weeks, everybody's following it. But if you don't have the right controls in place, you can start to see people are lagging and they're starting to go, well, actually, nobody's watching me. I'm going to go back to what I was doing. So what can you have in place then? What sort of things can you have in place to monitor all of this?
I mean, that's what the training is about. That's one of the things that's put in place is number one, understanding the individuals, understanding their style of training, understanding the organization and how, because you'd be surprised the way organization is set up also affects change. So understanding all of that. And then when you're trying to implement the change, put that into plan all of that into consideration. Some changes you don't force them, some you have to handhold them, some you have to send people in to handle them, and also embedding the change, giving them little benefits that you think, oh, this is silly, but acknowledging people that well done, who is going to be the top 5 people who is going to make, use this software this week, so little things like that you think, oh, well, they should know. No, they don't know. So when you acknowledge the achievements that they've done, so those are the things you learn. What achievement can you put, what bonus can you put into to make people realize, are they actually using this new product? Then those are the things that help drive, those are what change management looks like.
See, one of the things I want to pick up on what you just said, which was how the organization manages change. And for me, and I'm sure a lot of people are watching, it's the question around, well, I'm on on the factory floor, so to speak, and I'm sitting there doing the work on a day-to-day basis. What about those at the top? What about senior management, executives? What role do they play in change management?
Again, very important. This is something that you have to, this is one of the things as well the course brings out, the role of the line managers, the sponsors, and like you said, the factory. Now, for example, one of my clients I went to do change with, they wanted to change from the very bureaucratic way of what they were known as, the old way of working. They wanted to change to the more modern way of working. So one of the things, they weren't successful at that, and because of that, their image wasn't well recognized amongst the top telecoms company. So what they had to do was their boss had to come in to actually help with the change. And one way of doing that was he served them coffee. He came down and he was the one serving coffee so that they could. So what they were trying to do there was, I am approachable, rather than you have to knock on my door. So little things like that, symbols that you have to put in. So by serving coffee shows that I am approachable. What are your issues? So little things like that. They got the boss to write a blog. Tell us about your holiday. Tell us about your children, because they all say, oh, they're so high up there. They don't know. We don't know anything about them. But then when they're changing when people begin to actually, these people are human, these people actually have holiday, then they found out that people's way of thinking was different, and now they began to relate to their boss, and then they began to adopt the change that were being offered. So these are the little things that you may think is obvious, but it's not obvious. That's what change management brings in.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, actually, because it is about, the people at the top coming across, and not just coming across, but genuinely showing that it's just a job title that they have.
Yeah.
It's a role that they play, but underneath all that, we're all actually all the same. There's no difference.
Yeah.
So, you know, and there's that saying, isn't there? There's walking the talk.
Yes.
Yeah. And then there's
talking. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so you got walking the talk. That's the most important one, rather than just talking the talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so senior management are saying, well, this is what change is all about. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. There's going to be new ways of working. Let's take the COVID-19 for example.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there's going to be the social distancing, the desk areas, the communal areas, and so on and so forth. But then if they're not adhering to themselves, then why should I adhere to it?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's one of the key things that the course, we talked about the role of a line manager, which are the greatest mentors when it comes to change. The line managers, if you want to change anything, first of all, pass it through the line managers. When they do it, especially when we're going paperless, if you say you're paperless in an organization, then the line manager should not be using paper. You know, they should not just tell the people or the team, don't use paper because you're not going paper, and then they see you using paper, because they watch everything that you do. So definitely you have to walk the talk.
There's 3 different types of change, isn't there? There's strategic change, tactical change, and operational change.
Yes.
So what are the differences between those 3?
Oh, you're putting me to test here.
I know.
Oh gosh, we don't actually cover in those, I think you're going from change management, and not change management, from ITIL point of view, but yeah, I know.
You know me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, first of all, strategic change is looking at from a plan change from the strategic level. What do we as an organization as a whole plan to do over this period of time? So that is not something immediate. That is something that they put the budget in, and it's a slow change, like you were saying. So what was the other one you said?
So strategic, tactical, and operational.
Okay.
So tactical will be the next one.
Yeah, tactical change. Oh dear, that would be your change management, as in your project change, which temporary change they've put in. So that is, you plan the delivery, so that's all your as aware your project management changing within a very short period of time. So we call that swift change in change management. And then your operational, your day-to-day change, if you want to put a patch in, for example, because the software is broken, so you put your change management in, and they go through that.
See, you did well there.
I'm thinking now she's getting into ITIL.
Well, they do blend well together.
They do. None of these things are in silos.
Exactly. So, you know, ITIL, as you know, is something I absolutely love. And ITIL talks a lot around change and organizational change management, how you manage change, and also how you manage people through the change, which is something you've touched on quite a lot actually through all of this, is the managing the people through the change. It's really important to understand, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the subject matter expert in this, is who it's going to impact, how it's going to impact, who's on your side, who's not on yours. It's I'm sure it's, from an ITIL perspective, we'd call that stakeholder management. Exactly the same for change. They're very important. That's the key thing. Who are your stakeholders? So we do go through that's the second day of the course. That's what we spend mostly on. Who are your stakeholders? Do you have the techniques for doing stakeholder management, persona, rapid listening? So all of those techniques, and the communication method, the different ways of communication to them. So all of those things, yes, we definitely, is very important. We cover those. So stakeholder matrices and stakeholder mapping are very, very important. To understand where everybody's sitting, who's on your side, who's not on side, and so on, and where you need to spend most of your time and where you don't need to spend maybe so much time. You know, change links into so many different aspects of every organization.
I mean, the famous saying, the only thing that is constant is change.
So true.
You're constantly changing.
You know, one of the things I've always said from the beginning is, if you don't like change, what are you doing in IT?
Exactly.
And the thing is, change does not apply purely to IT. It's everything. The world is constantly changing. Look at how much we've had to change and adapt. Change is about adapting to what's going on, is it not?
Yeah, definitely.
And we've all had to adapt because of COVID-19.
Yeah.
I mean, we're having this conversation now. If COVID-19 happened, highly unlikely this would have happened at
That's
this
correct.
time. We would have been out busy doing what we do, doing what we
Yeah.
love, which is delivering training.
Yeah. And very true. I mean, one of the things they do, I mean, one of the courses I'm sure you get there is we talk about the first and the individuals on the change. So we talk about the change curve, as you know, the shock, the denial, you know, and you see that through this COVID, you know, no, this is not happening. You know, first of all, what is this COVID? Then, oh my God, no, it's not happening. It's going to go away. It is just, they're just making it up. Then it's like, oh my God, yeah. Then you go through the phase, the depressed phase. Oh my God, you know, so what do we do now? This is it. We're just locked down. No one thinks about the opportunity coming from it. No one is thinking it. So you see it all the time. You've seen it now where people are, oh, we're not going to use masks. It's rubbish. It's all this, is all that. And then you come out of it. Some stay there. Some now come out of it and say, oh, actually, it's not that bad. Let's see what we can do, the opportunities from this. And then you move on. Or sadly enough, some keep going back and forth through the change curve, you know. So those are the things. And then how do we help them through that? Nobody just
that's really important from an organizational perspective, that you help your employees, you know, no matter where they are on that curve. I mean, from an ITIL, we used to call it the emotional cycle of change.
It's
you know,
same,
but that curve itself, where are they? Where is somebody? Are they still in denial?
Exactly.
Are they still in shock, or have they come out the other side? But you have to remember, sometimes somebody's going to go up and then they're going to slide back down again. It's understanding change from that perspective, from the human perspective as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So what is the last day of the course, the last 2 days of the course about? So the first 3 around foundations, so laying the foundations about change, understanding what changes, the fundamentals basically. Where do we go from there?
Well, then in the practitioner, we look at the impact of change in a bit more details. We looked at how do we sustain change, and looking at the virtuous cycle of change. So if something does happen, how do you keep the momentum going? How do you intervene when you know, for example, you've introduced a new change, and then, like you said, you realize that people are very active at first, but then there is something that tells you that they're lagging behind. So you need to be able to pick up you know, that lag and say and it's a bit like risk plan. If this is going that way, what can we interject to kind of boost the momentum and keep the momentum going? So that's really what we focus on the last day of the course. And then obviously the famous dreaded exams.
Speaking of exams, so on this course then you have 2 exams, am I right?
Yes, we do. So we have the foundation exam on the Wednesday afternoon, 50 questions, which you have to get half. And then you 25,
have, that's not too bad. Is that
closed
book or open book?
Closed book.
Closed book, okay.
And then you have the practitioner, which is 80 questions, which is like the standard way of working, open book. You have your change management book that we have taken, and it's based on a scenario. And again, it's half mark for that as well.
Okay. It sounds interesting.
Very interesting. I love change.
I know. I'll be coming to you. I'll be coming to you because I have a feeling that I'm going to need that in my life, the certification. So,
but the good thing I like about it is that it covers, like I say, it digs. In a way, you kind of get to a point where you're becoming a bit like psychological, because people begin to open up about things in their lives, about how they dealt with it. Even things like get them. So what if you move to different countries, or what happened when you got divorced? So sometimes it becomes like like an AA session. Therapy session.
And we have the same when I do the ITIL training. There's an element in ITIL which we talk about organizational change management and so on. And you know how it impacts people, and it can turn into a bit of it's quite cathartic for a lot of people, because you're in a safe environment in the training room. It's like, I'm gonna get it all off my shoulders, put it on the table. People leave happier.
They do, seriously. You know, by the time they leave, it's like you've taken this weight off their shoulder. And they're like, I really did, you know, I may not pass, but I really enjoy that, you know.
We're not just trainers, we're coaches as well.
Exactly,
and on that note, I'm going to have to call it an end, I'm afraid, because
I was enjoying that.
I know. Well, you'll have to come back and we'll have another conversation.
Okay.
So, Jumoke, thank you so much for coming. How can people get hold of you?
Well, I've got my email, which is my company email, Ogunbekan@EX2 Management Consulting.
Hmm.
It's quite a mouthful, limited, but I'll attach that to my
Yep.
yeah. So
You're
yeah,
on LinkedIn as well, aren't you?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. Or the Jumoke Ogunbekan or Lumide.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Well, thank you again for joining me. I really
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Manjit. You're
Thank you.
doing a good job. Well
Thank
done.
you. I'm
And I
glad you.
love your hair. I just love your hair.
Well, thank,
It's
thank
a change.
It is. It's a change. It is a change, and it was managed really, really well by my hairdresser. Thank you.
Thank you, Manjit.
Thank you,
Okay.
everybody, for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed this. We've had quite a few laughs today,
Yeah.
which is really good. Hope you've all really enjoyed it. And remember to, along the bottom, to like, subscribe, and share as well. And remember to hit the bell icon at the top so that when future episodes come up, you'll get that notification, so you can just log on and watch what the next subject is. So thank you for this, listening in to Change Management, and I will see you next time. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.